Hey y'all, Halfmilesniper here, and today we're going to take a look at my late father's Marlin 336 lever action and 3030. Sit back, kick your feet up, and enjoy the ride. So this lever action 3030, unlike my dad's 270, I know exactly how old this gun is. My mom presented it to my dad as a gift on their first wedding anniversary. That was 66 years ago. This rifle is also the rifle I took my first deer with when I was about 11 years old. And after my dad died, this is the gun that I found at the back door of the barn. And he'd had it out there probably for the last 20 years of his life. And he would snipe a deer out the back door of the barn, at least once a year. This gun had been exposed to basically to the elements for at least 20 years. We're going to take a look down the bore and see if there's any rust damage down the bore. Try to do a little conservation on it, at least under the front handguard, and we'll see what else we can get into. But we're going to jump right into it. Hope y'all enjoy this, and we'll pick it up in the shop. Well, what we have here today is my dad's Marlin 336, chambered in 3030, and unlike his 270, I do know the exact age of this gun, because this gun was my mom's first anniversary wedding gift to my dad. It is outfitted with a Weaver tilt-off scope mount, so I can use the iron sights can be used if you're in too close. This is also the first gun, or the gun I took my very first deer with when I was about 11 years old. So we're going to take a look down the bore today and try to do a little conservation, because this gun sat at the back door of my dad's barn for about 20 years, last 20 years of his life. So we're going to pull the foregrip off and clean up any rust underneath and get that all oiled up so we can stop any further rusting there and make sure that there's no rust down the bore. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Okay, y'all, so this is going to be the first look down the bore of my dad's Marlin 336 in 3030. Remember, this is the gun that I found leaned up at the back door of the barn, so that my dad didn't have to venture out too far to go deer hunting out behind the barn. So I'm a little bit worried what the inside of this bore is going to look like. Let's take a look. And you know what? Outside of a little bit of copper and a little bit of carbon, I am pleasantly surprised that there isn't any rust in the bore. Wow. Very, very surprised. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We got a little bit of rust going in the chamber there. I'm going to have to work on getting that cleaned out. I really expected to find rust in the bore because the where this gun was sitting at the back door wasn't exactly weather tight, and the exterior finish of the gun was speckled with some very fine rust. So a little bit of bronze wool cleaned most of that up. There's still a few marks, but I was really worried that the bore was going to be horribly rusted. So I'm going to give this a quick CLR bath, see if we can get a little bit of the carbon out of the barrel, and then try to figure out a way to scrub the chamber. It's a little bit difficult on a 30-30 because I don't have access to the bore or to the breech for a good scrubbing, so I got to do it all from the muzzle. I'll be back in a little bit. So one of the things I've done while I'm waiting for the CLR to work its magic inside the bore is I have carefully removed the foregrip. Back that up. Remove the magazine tube, magazine spring and follower, and then the foregrip, so I could try to, let's see if I can get this up here, get some light on the subject. There we go, that's better. So I can get some of that cleaned up. I don't know how many years my dad had this sitting out by the back door of the barn, but you can see the elements have taken a little bit of a toll on the finish. We're going to try to get some of that cleaned up and get the tube cleaned up. And the end cap here was what really caught my attention, so I figured, hey, I better figure out how to do this real quick. So I'm going to get that cleaned up, get it back on, and then we'll take a look at what the bore looks like after it's been soaking for a little bit. Stand by. Okay, well, we've got the fore end back together. Got the rust cleaned up. Can't do anything about the wear through the blue from the rust, but got that cleaned up and oiled. Got the end cap cleaned up and oiled. Got everything underneath the wood cleaned up and oiled. And I feel a whole lot better about that. Later on I'll work on the receiver body and maybe even gut the receiver, see if I can maybe clean the chamber out a little bit better. So let me get some bore brush and patches down the bore here, knock out the CLR that's in there, been working, and we'll take a look and see what the bore looks like. So here we go after a scrub with CLR, just to knock down the carbon and any rust that might have been in the bore, or even the rust that we did see in the chamber, because like I said, I was really surprised that there was no rust in this bore, considering this gun set at the back of the barn where my dad could just shoot out into the backfield, and this gun was pretty much exposed to the elements for probably the last 20 years of my dad's life. Hey, look at that. I think we were able to get most of the rust, a little bit right there, but we'll get that later. We got the big stuff that was right in here. Got that cleaned out. A little bit more right there, but we'll work on it. This is going to be hard to do since we can't come in from the breech end. But overall, everything looks pretty good. I will continue doing some slow conservation on this, trying to make sure we get all the rust out of all the nooks and crannies. This gun deserves it. Okay, now that we got it all cleaned up, we can see that all the rust that was there between the magazine tube and barrel is gone. The end cap looks a whole lot better. The rust that was in here along the foregrip is gone, cleaned up. Everything definitely looks much, much better. The only scary part I had in the whole process was with the cleaning rod. I got stuck right about here because the patch, or the jag, pushed right through the patch. So I had instead of the patch on the jag, I had the patch wedged between the cleaning rod and the edge of the bore, the interior dimensions of the bore. It was very tight. I was a little bit worried, thought I wasn't going to get it out, but enough cussing and enough sweating, I finally got it out and changed to a hoop style jag instead of a button, flat nose jag. So that's it. I'm going to get this one put away here for a while, and later on I'll see about gutting the receiver and doing some conservation in there. And one of these days I'll get this gun out to the range and shoot it, if for nothing more than a little bit of nostalgia. This will be the Halfmilesniper checking out. Y'all have a great day, be safe, and keep shooting.
Send it.
Hit.